Hey everybody, and welcome back to another one of Mudflap's movie reviews. My name is Mudflap, and today I will be reviewing the epic Viking movie, The Northman. Let's get started. The Northman is directed by Robert Eggers, and it stars Ethan Hawke, Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicole Kidman, and Willem Dafoe. This movie starts off where Amleth, who is just a kid at this time, is waiting for his father, the king, to return home. The king is portrayed by Ethan Hawke. Amleth's father is just preparing him to become a man and also preparing him to take over the kingdom someday once he gets older. So we see him go through this ritual. But after the ritual, the king is killed by his brother Fjolnir, who has been jealous of his power and wants to take over and do things his way, and that's what sets off Amleth to take off and disappear for 20 years with revenge in his heart, and he's been fated eventually to come back and kill his uncle and reclaim his homeland. So this story of Amleth is actually the story that inspired Hamlet, but this is the true original Scandinavian story which inspired Hamlet and all the iterations of Hamlet. This is a classic revenge story that we've heard 100 times, but this is where it all started. He's fated to fight his uncle, but in order to fight his uncle, he needs to go through these steps, and he also has to collect a magical sword, the Sword of the Undead. It's called the Dragur sword. He has to win that in combat. And the unique thing about this sword is it can only be wielded at night. And then another part of the journey, Amleth meets Olga, who is a captive slave. He has been fated to meet her. So Olga is part of the adventure here. We see as time progresses that they fall in love with each other and help each other out. Olga getting out of slavery and Amleth fulfilling his destiny, and how they both need each other to do that. So this movie is actually really long. I didn't expect it to be this long, but it's over 2 hours long. But man, that 2 hours went by in a flash. It was just great. There's a lot of violence in it. A lot of Norse mythology that a lot of people have been saying that is actually quite accurate of how things went, the people, the locations, because the story throughout history and time has been changed a little bit to whatever audience that they're trying to cater. It's been changed a little bit, but they went straight for it. Robert Eggers is just a great visionary when it comes to storytelling, but also making everything very cinematically beautiful. A lot of this was filmed out in Iceland, so Robert took advantage of all the beautiful scenes in Iceland and the open skies and the mountains. It is absolutely beautiful. But the violence in this movie was pretty crazy. It is rated R, so if you are interested in seeing it and you're not of age, take somebody to go see it with you, because there are some scenes that are pretty disturbing at times. If you're gonna go see it and you love Viking movies, I would highly recommend you go see this movie. Just make sure that if you're not 14 years old or older, that you take an adult with you so you can still enjoy it, because I highly recommend it for people who just love Norse mythology. I'm starting to get into it a little more. I still have trouble saying some names, but I'm getting better at it, and different Viking kings and locations and countries and how it all changed throughout just a short amount of time, where the culture did a lot of shifting during that time. The cool thing about Amleth is he was a berserker, and if you're not familiar with what a berserker is, berserkers they're super strong, jacked warriors who could take down kingdoms. You just need a few of them, and they could take down hundreds of guys at a time. And the secret to their success there was they took magic mushrooms. It's basically like a steroid, enhanced power and strength. They were greatly to be feared, and this is how Amleth kind of started his journey of getting his revenge as he became a berserker, and he learned the ways of how to be one and how to do it effectively throughout the whole kingdom that he was in. But then when he came back to his home, he had to do it in a stealthier way so he wouldn't draw attention to himself. The whole thing was just super meticulously thought out. I just loved the fight scenes. There's some really great Norse mythology stuff thrown in there that I just thought it was just awesome. Really, really solid movie. I dare say this might be the most underrated movie of 2022. In a little ways how it's different from Hamlet, I'm not going to go into the depth really. Some of the characters are different. There are a few little plot twists here and there. This story is actually a lot darker than Hamlet is, and I was really surprised at some of the scenes that happened that I was like, I don't remember that happening in Hamlet, but I had to remember that this is the original Scandinavian story. A lot darker, a lot grittier, a lot more heartbreaking, a lot more drama. But yeah, man, this movie was awesome. I'm going to give this movie 8 out of 10 Mudflaps. Oh, just a great movie to see. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend you go see it this weekend. And before you go, drop in the comments below, who is your favorite Norse mythology character? I would love to know. And as always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time.